How's it going, everybody? I have a quick update on the Miller v. Bonta / Miller v. Becerra case, which deals with the California assault weapons ban, which was recently struck down by Judge Benitez in the Southern District of California. So real quick, before we jump into this video, I want to thank one of the main supporters of the channel, and that is USCCA. Through your membership, you get training, education, and self-defense liability protection. So if you're in the market for something like that, I highly recommend you look into USCCA, and I'll put a link to them down in the details section. So if you're not aware by now, what happened today is that the state of California has sought an appeal to the Ninth Circuit. It's not a surprise. We all knew that they were going to appeal this decision, and Governor Newsom and Bonta also said that as much as soon as this decision hit. They said they were going to appeal it and they were going to seek a stay. Now, if you watch the press conference that they held today, there was a lot of discussion they had, definitely painting the decision of Judge Benitez in light of how their views are, and they even went as far as saying that this has no legal basis, and that everybody agrees, and most people agree, that these types of firearms should not be on the streets, which again is pretty ridiculous. And they said that no gun owners would agree with having these things, which is also ridiculous. There were just a lot of really funny things that were said during that press conference, and they even decided to attack Judge Benitez as well. In that press conference, they said, yes, we're going to seek the appeal. The appeal has hit the docket, and another thing that they said in the press conferences, of course, that they are going to seek a stay as well, and the stay needs to be filed by tomorrow. Now, in the press conference, Bonta actually said that they were going to seek the stay today, but I haven't seen that pop up on the docket, so likely they're going to file that tomorrow is my guess, because that is their last day to do so. Now, I know a lot of people are automatically saying, oh, all hope is lost because they filed the appeal. We knew they were going to file the appeal. We knew they were going to file the stay. The question is whether or not the Ninth Circuit will actually grant the appeal and stay. My assumption is that they will grant the appeal and stay. But when it comes to this whole decision and maybe how some things could get weird here and there, that is all dictated about whether or not the Ninth Circuit grants the stay that the state of California is going to seek from them before Judge Benitez's own stay, his temporary stay, runs out in that 30-day period. And that all depends based on when the motions panel hears the motion to stay. The state of California can request that they hear it before the 30-day timeline runs out from Judge Benitez's temporary stay. They could do that as well. That doesn't mean that the Ninth Circuit motion panel has to hear it by then, but just the state of California can request that. And another thing to keep in mind, just because a Ninth Circuit or any circuit grants an appeal doesn't necessarily mean that they will grant something like a stay. So they very much could grant the appeal of the state of California, but also deny the stay and find that there is no basis to actually grant the stay to the state of California. And then at that point, the 30 days would run out, and then the temporary stay of Judge Benitez and his order would be in effect while this whole thing kind of goes through the appeals process. But if you ask me, my assumption would be that the Ninth Circuit would grant both the appeal and the stay. You never know. It's not a complete foregone conclusion that they will do both, especially because Trump and his administration put a lot of judges into the Ninth Circuit, and we've already seen some of those effects with decisions like in the Duncan v. Becerra case, where the three-judge panel found that California's magazine ban was unconstitutional. We also saw that in the Young decision before the three-judge panel. So we've seen some judges leaned in the favor of the Second Amendment in the Ninth Circuit, which if you were to ask me just a few years ago, or 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if you asked anyone prior, it would be very unlikely that the Ninth Circuit would ever fall in any capacity in favor of the Second Amendment. But recently we've had a little bit of luck. So you never know when these motion panel actually hears this motion for stay, whether or not they will grant that or not. Another thing to note is that in one of my prior videos, I talked about that the motions panel is randomly selected by the clerk. They used to have that on the website. It's no longer on there. And actually a viewer of the channel reached out to me and said that prior to this whole thing kind of kicking off, he had reached out to the clerk's office in the Ninth Circuit and asked why that motion panel page had been removed. And this is the response that he received. It was that the information is no longer available. The court has discontinued its practices of disclosing the identity of the motions panel in advance of their monthly sittings to be consistent with our longstanding practice of not disclosing screening or certificate of appealability panels prior to the issuance of orders or dispositions from their sitting, and not disclosing the identity of argument panels until the week before the sitting. He then followed up and said, well, who made that decision? What mechanism was that? And the only answer he got is that the court, the Ninth Circuit, made that decision. So that is why that whole motion panel website page is now blank is because they decided to remove it because I think they thought maybe there would be some influence or whatever. But that was the rationale that the clerk had given this one viewer who reached out to me and said that was the response he got. And why I mentioned this is because the motions panel, that's important. That's going to be the panel that's going to hear the stay. It's going to be 2 of the 3 judges likely that will actually hear the motion, decide whether or not they want to grant the state's motion or not. Could be 3, but typically it's 2 out of the 3. And also some timing issues is important with this as well, which I've talked about in a prior video, which is that the motions panel, which sits in San Francisco, well, the next 9th Circuit calendar date for San Francisco dates would be June 14th through the 18th. And then after that, it's not till July 6th. So this could be kind of interesting depending on when the motions panel actually hears the stay or not. But like I said, if you ask me right now what my general takeaway is, that would be that the 9th Circuit is both going to grant the appeal and both grant the stay, but I would be more than happy to be shocked by them denying both or just denying the stay. That would be amazing, and I would take that as I would be more than happy of being wrong in this situation. So hopefully that helped catch you guys up where we stand right now with the state of California actually seeking the appeal today and doing that whole press conference and all of that stuff. When we get more information, I will definitely let you guys know. Like I said, more than likely they are going to file that stay tomorrow because they have to, and they said they're going to seek a stay, so expect that to pop up tomorrow as well. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. Also, if you guys like this video and like support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure that notification bell because it helps the channel analytics, helps us spread the word about the Second Amendment, helps spread the word about two-way news like this that is going on in the state of California. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and never forget this nation was built by armed scholars and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.